Welcome, audiophile and cinephiles alike, to the Beneflicks podcast, the show where we are reaping the Beneflicks one movie at a time. I'm Liz,
I'm Tyson.
and welcome to the big episode of the year.
Our last one.
I know. I got tuberculosis, so
Oh,
yeah, I can't do it anymore, and we had to put my dog and my ferret down.
and you're next.
Don't spoil the best of the year already. Sorry. We were coming to the realization that we're sharing a lot of Adam Wingard movies on our best of 2025 list because the year was so terrible that we had to start rewatching all the shit we've already seen.
I
So,
fucking love him.
so where did you put Blair Witch?
Oh, his?
The
I
only
didn't include it.
Not even as an honorable mention.
I didn't even include it.
What about Gondola and Kong?
I didn't even include it.
Okay, well, of course, don't worry, we'll get to Death Note when we get to our top fives. But as we are all teeing up, this is going to be our best of 2025 list in its entirety. Well, technically not in its entirety, because how many movies do you know by chance how many you have logged from the year?
I am a pussy,
Yeah,
and I only have 77.
that's okay. I think I have under a little bit under 10 more than you do. So I think I'm at like 85, 86, something like that. But it's interesting because we, at least when I looked, the 2024, I have over 100 movies logged. And that feels so much more of an odd predicament because, like, we ventured out. We had like those days where we batched a lot of movies, even double features, triple features when we're feeling a little frisky and hot and heavy. We did the quad feed, but it's like that's a little low.
I couldn't stop watching Death Note. I could not stop.
Honestly, it's what turned me into a lesbian. I'm very excited. I'm
Mm.
very, very
I did
excited.
watch the movie at Rainforest Cafe.
Okay. So sorry, guys. We're gonna be having a long road ahead of us, and well, wait. Did I already ask you how you're doing, man?
Good. It's late at night
It,
again, and whenever we do the late at night episodes, they kind of get a bit freaky, a bit
okay.
tumultuous.
Well, mind you, this will be our second late night recording. The first one was when Lemon was on Percocet and was trying to
That's
claw through
true.
the door.
And my legs are already hairy, but when the full moon comes out, it gets
No,
bad.
no, as I pull down the curtain and you're already gone. I'm never getting that mic back again.
It's in the gullet.
Well, my friends, we really did comb through and try and watch as many films, especially like leading up to this. We did a kind of itinerary of, I basically said, and already I'm kind of breaking this rule, of 5 videos I wanted to have set out before we uploaded our first. But then we realized that's a little silly because at the end of the day, we will find the time to record no matter what. But this was one that I was deeply looking forward to, arguably going to be upstaged by the video that releases after this, so stay tuned for that. It also has to deal with movies that came out from last year in 2025, but I do think it would be a fair, ample moment to talk about some of the films that we didn't get to see. And before we do that, please, my friends, email us in at beneflixpod@gmail.com, letting us know what your favorite films of the year were. You can do it from 10 down, doesn't have to be in order. We'd love to know, please, any insights, any films that you felt didn't get the spotlight they deserved. I know there's going to be a couple on each of our lists that I think maybe didn't get enough recognition, or maybe we feel a lot more impassioned about it than some people.
Wonder
What do you mean? What do I wonder?
that did not get like enough
Oh,
recognition.
the
The film.
Jacob Tremblay kind of has the goalpost for movies that are unsung, and I'm going to be bringing one up today.
Okay, me
Which
as well.
Book of Henry?
Wonder.
Sorry, I forget that. Who directed that? The Dumb Money guy?
No, that was not the fucking. No way.
Who was it?
Derek guy.
Derek C. in France?
That was the money
No,
guy.
no. The guy who directed it is actually, which is like friendly fire. How are you making a bad movie off of a book you made? His name's like Eric Chomsky, right?
No, it's Stephen Chomsky.
Okay, well, no, Chomsky was the name of the
Oh,
game
the Perks of a Wallflower.
because he wrote both of those books, and I would argue Perks of Being a Wallflower is a pretty great
He
movie.
also looks like he wrote Dear Evan Hansen.
You kind of look like Ben Platt.
fuck you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go
I'm
fuck
sorry.
yourself.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. We'll reel it back in. As I was saying before, I plugged the email that we have. Let's talk a couple minutes about the movies that we weren't able to catch and what the fuck were we doing alternatively.
Yeah, so I mean, a couple of these I think have already gone a 2026 release in theaters, and some are probably yet to come. I will
Mm,
say a couple that you got to see that I didn't get the chance to see was uh, Hera, directed by Nia
yeah.
DaCosta.
Yeah.
Um, you also saw Father, Mother, Sister, Brother
Sure.
by Jim Jarmusch, which I didn't
Sure.
get a chance to see. Um, The Plague released in theaters this year. We didn't get a chance to catch that.
You're missing a bigger one that
Sure, Surratt. I mean,
oh, that I've seen that you haven't.
oh,
Freaky Tales.
oh, Freaky Tale.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I assume you'll be talking about that later on, but I did not
Maybe.
catch that. A big one that we both didn't see was Blue Moon.
Yeah.
Very much in the Oscar conversation. We will be visiting that. I think
Mm-hmm.
Richard Linklater is a pretty eclectic director,
Sure.
so I think it'll be interesting to go down
Sure.
his rabbit hole.
Mm.
Oh, oh, sorry,
Uh,
my fault. Urchin,
what the fuck?
Urchin, directed by Harris Dickinson.
Okay, but okay, let me stop you for a second though, because I think, and I don't mean to interrupt, but it's like, at what point is a movie 2025 and what movie? Because okay, I bring it up because like one that I wanted to count was Chronology of Water because it was accessible to watch at a few screenings in LA. But with its theatrical distribution and its distributor, they're pushing for a 2026 release. So
Sure,
like
it's like Pillion
exactly,
or Pillin.
and even to an extent like Urchin, right? Like they had like two screenings. Like just because we have the privilege, which we're very grateful for, are we going to be counting that? And maybe that's me trying to excuse the fact that like we missed on quite a bit, but like also we came close to like 80 and 90 in different regards, but like I don't know, like I hear you. I don't know if I'd fully count some of those though.
Sure, I mean, I guess like it's all like fucking hoopla because
Yeah.
Cloud technically, which we both watched tonight, is listed as 2024. So where the
Mm,
fuck, like where the fuck does that land? Because a
sure.
lot of people, I mean, I've seen that fucking counter for 2026 on some people's list.
Yeah.
So it's all, I mean, a bunch of hoopla at the end of the day. I think,
Yeah.
even to some degree, we watched one recently. Wasn't Nirvana the band also accessible last year, like 2025?
Yeah, but like that's also very difficult because like there was like we are very privileged to be close to LA, so they did like one of those. I think it was like a Beyond Fest screening or something like that. So
Sure.
it's like if we really wanted to, we could have. But
Okay, well then a couple that I wish I got to see that didn't really get a distribution, at
mhm,
least near us,
yeah,
was Dry Leaf. A I'm
yeah,
not entirely sure what nationality this comes from,
I don't know.
but it's a very interesting, from what it seems like, very like shot on video
Hmm.
styled
Hmm.
film that I don't know too much about, but has gotten a lot of
That
love from the masses,
that's
from what I've heard.
183 minutes, right?
That is 186 minutes. Yeah,
Fuck,
it's long as
fuck,
hell.
fuck. I was so close.
There is also Magellan, which has gone pretty universal praise. That one has gone
Yeah,
also very limited
yeah.
release around us, but that one I heard was beautiful,
Uh-huh.
that we both did not get a chance to see. And just a couple others, nothing too crazy. I will say for the most part, we did a pretty good job about watching what we really wanted to catch this year. And
Hmm.
of course, there's always been ones that slip through. I think that's
Sure.
inevitable. But for the most part, we did a pretty good job of like making sure we caught the big ones. The only one that I'm kind of bummed about is Surratt, just because that one is
Yeah,
kind of very entrancing to me in terms of like what that might contain for us. I think we both probably come out of that loving that.
maybe,
But
yeah.
also, it's getting a lot of critical acclaim this year at this year's
You
Oscars.
know, yeah, and I mean, if like we are fortunate enough, because I know like they're showing it at a local theater in Santa Ana, by us, because we live in the Inland Empire. If we can, you know, maybe depending, like we can kind of debate whether that goes into a 2025 list or a 2026 one, or maybe even we make an entire episode out of it, because at the end of the day, like, which I would actually like to talk about in a second, but like we don't really lead lives doing podcasts about new movies, but just movies that kind of touch us or make us feel a certain way. And even like, I would imagine at certain points we might even make a podcast about like a movie we don't like, but like is worth a conversation to be had.
100%.
So like, I 100%, I 100% agree. But that was actually making me think for a second. I don't, because like this is sort of unbeknownst to the listener right now. But as of the recording of this, we just dropped our second episode. And
Yeah.
I think it is sort of something of a discussion to say, because actually, funny enough, you had asked me, you had called me a day or so after we released our first episode, wondering what my thoughts were, anything like on a retrospective level about now that this podcast is out in the world and isn't just ours anymore, isn't just this thing that is in the development phase, how that has taken shape. And I said, like, okay, I really would like to share my thoughts for the podcast, you know? But I think like we've released our second episode, and maybe I should have asked you this off off recording if it was okay to bring up, and maybe I could trim this if not, but like you had brought up a sort of differential between the first episode and the second episode, and then
Yes.
what will happen in our third episode, which
Yes.
again, by the time of recording this, we haven't released. And it was kind of like this perspective thought in my head of like what I am viewing the podcast as, and versus not versus, but kind of compared to what you view it as in such and such. So I guess my question to you before we kind of dive into the list, how do you feel now that we've released two episodes? Looking back, we recorded a third, and I would say each of the three episodes, now that we're at our fourth, has given us a very different experience each time.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how you're feeling about that.
I'm excited, obviously. It's a very cool new adventure, and I'm excited to go on it with you. My viewpoint when I voiced that, not concern, but rather just like observation of that whole like why I preferred the first to the second episode was much more oriented as I was actually shocked on myself that I was willing to listen to it like fully. Like I listened to it
Yeah.
fully on my free time. I wasn't listening to it to check for like audio quality or anything like that. Like I wasn't editing it. Like
Yeah.
I just you sent me the link. I wanted to listen to it, so I listened to it all the way through, and I was very shocked by knowing what we were talking about, like knowing what was going to come next, but still being relatively like entertained by
Yeah.
it. And so I was very much approaching it from like an audience or like a viewer on
Mhm.
that level,
Mhm.
like as if I was stumbling upon it, not knowing what this podcast was.
Yeah.
And as the creator of that, I know that can be sometimes a conflict of interest,
Mhm.
obviously, because it's the content that you and I are creating.
Yeah.
Um, I think my concern boiled down to I already get so much out of just being friends with you and having great experiences with you and having great conversations with you. And I know that we kind of viewed this creation of this, this platform of this podcast as very much what we're going to be doing anyways. We might as well kind of be
Yeah.
able to rope whoever else wants to join the club in with us because we're going to be talking anyways. You might as well record it.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I guess I was just viewing it as like someone who maybe is interested in being roped in with us and joining in the conversation
Yeah.
and the experience of enjoying these films.
Yeah.
Um, so all that being said, I very much wasn't looking at it in a sense of like, oh, we're doing a bad job or we need to do something different. I guess just much more like what would exemplify what I already know our personalities are and make that a bit more like tangible for the audience to grab onto.
Sure.
Um, Not as a slight against what we've created already or what we will do in the future, or even a positive to that note, just more so like as an outside viewer looking at how would I feel about
Mhm.
watching this.
Yeah, and I guess like I wanted to put a like a little emphasis on it, and maybe it's because the entire topic of this video is reflecting back on a year in film, but without that year in film, we wouldn't have the fuel in our tank to make this podcast, you know? And when you had asked about my thoughts looking back, it got me thinking because like and I had like reached out to my partner right the night as I had finished. Like I guess I was so caught up, and I guess it's a good thing to be busy doing things that you love to do as hobbies. And I love doing this, and like I was caught up in like digging a hole and putting a VHS tape to create our thumbnails and kind of make sure that like everything is checked and approved on YouTube's end, descriptions, the videos themselves, the audio and everything. And but it was when I had finished it and I hit save on the unlisted video and I had sent it to you, and I realized, and I guess it was like an itch in the back of my brain. And obviously, like I'm not trying to make this a whole dump of an episode where I just talk about like my life and everything. But I will say that there will be probably a couple movies and moments where I will be a bit more reflective. And if I get too far down that rabbit hole, I know you could snap me out of it. But like I think it's the fact that, like, as of the recording of this video, I lead the moment we start this episode with like a name that wasn't mine or wasn't assigned to me at birth. And I live in a home where there have only ever been mentions of that name via like accidents, like my university sending a letter in addressed as to my preferred name. And like my parents are aware of my content creation journey. And my dad, I haven't talked to him about this in years, but like he at one point was subscribed to my YouTube channel. And for me, it is like like all it has to take is one of them looking up on YouTube my channel and then digging and seeing that this is like the one of the first links on any video that I have now going forward, and it could threaten the literal like stability of me having a roof over my head. And when you talk to me about like looking back, like I won't lie to you, like there's a part of me that was like considering not going forward with this and saying like can we reframe this and redo the episode, but that I knew was just this fanciful thing because it's like you say my name, you give it purpose and like life, and it's what I have put in the tagline, and that's I don't regret a single second of that. But I think it was realizing that like I think there always is going to be a fear about the truth that I have and I reveal to you and about whatever it is that we're experiencing and I'm experiencing in correlation to the movies we watch. And so it's like, yeah, I think the one word that I can say going out of episode one and episode two is it just feels real, you know? And I think that's when like you had brought up I'm paraphrasing here, but like it wasn't as comedic or it was a bit more lighter on the comedy from the first to the second episode that it made me think about like not to say that I thought you had a different priority or prerogative, but like I really do only see this as an opportunity to just be me and to record in a space where I don't have to whisper, Like, I love ASMR, but quite literally, that was created out of a necessity because I wasn't able to speak at a normal cadence because my parents would hear what I'd be saying. So it's like, this has been a great lifeline. So, yeah, I guess like that's just kind of, I wanted to ask you that, and maybe I should have said, like, hey, do you mind if I bring that up
No,
before we
I think
record?
the whole idea of this pod is to be a bit uncompromising, and I very much hear you and feel what you're saying. I will say to some degree, like I looked back on that kind of quote unquote critique, and I kind of was like, okay, like that's not 100% fair. And I think that I was just so caught up in the moment of being perceived, because you have to also keep in mind as well, like you have done content creation for a good over like what, 5 years at this point,
Yeah, yeah,
for a long ass time,
yeah,
and this is like the first time that I'm actually being
yeah,
perceived, just my voice on the internet. So I guess to some degree I was like, okay, like now that this is out into, it's kind of like the whole idea, like once the art is created it's no longer yours, once
hmm
the content is created it's no longer yours, and then that fear of how can we package that to be more consumable, to get as many people paying attention or at least to enjoy our presence, which is very much not the purpose of this. The purpose
hmm
of this is for me and you to talk about what we love, and that
yeah,
is film, and for us to connect on a professional and personal level even further.
hmm
Um, so all that being said, very much excited to see where it goes, and I also do think as well that we are so new to this as well that it
yeah,
will take a very confident form over time. And I think even today, doing like a more list oriented video, which will be by far the most structured thing that we've done
yeah,
thus far,
hmm
I think will be like a good way to establish like a pace and an energy that the other videos have not done yet. So that'll
yeah.
be very exciting in terms of just like a structural thing for the episode.
Fuck yeah. I see that like this is just a growing moment for both of us every single episode. So I appreciate that we're doing it together, man. I really fucking do. And thank you guys. I mean, although it's a small community, like we could have released two episodes at this point, spanning a week that would have gotten nothing. And although we have friends that are willing and graciously intrigued by our videos and what we can say, like you guys have been supporting. Like we've had several comments on our first video just talking about the love that you guys have had about the stuff that we've talked about and just our energy. So thank you so much, guys. Like, it does not go unseen. So let's bring it in full force tonight or today or this afternoon, depending on whenever you're listening to this. I think what we discussed is we talked about the movies that we missed out on, that we regret, that we won't be including in this, but let's talk about the movies that we have seen that we did love. I think what we're going to do is we're going to basically start from 25 to 11. I
Yeah.
think we will let each person go from 25 to 11, not talk too much about each of those movies. But when we get from 10, we'll go in batches of 3, so 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and we'll alternate at each batch, and then we'll save, obviously, our number ones last.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
do you want to take it away?
Sure.
Go for it.
Before I jump into the numbers, I will say a very good year for movies, even though I only got to see 77. It
Yeah.
looks like I had 64, all with positive ratings. So majority of what I watched this year, I at least enjoyed or thought was okay.
What do you rate? Is that like a 3 or above or a
A
three and a half?
three or above. So like
Okay.
a 2.5 for me would be just like underwhelming, kind of fine, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't think about it positively nor negatively.
Hmm.
And then a 3 and above would be either okay, and then obviously with each half-star rating going progressively better.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah.
a pretty good year for movies. Even a lot of the films on here that I gave a 3 star to, I still think about from time to time, and I
Sure.
very much appreciate their qualities. And then yeah, and then in terms of movies that I thought were great, I'm at 31. So
4 and above.
yeah, so all of the films that I gave 4 and above to, I won't even be able to cover all of them with the top 25 ranking. So I think 2025 was a very good year for films. Some very foundational films that I think will influence the coming generation of filmmakers. I'm excited to see where that goes.
Mm. Mm.
Um, Not to compare years here, but I will say that I think last year might have been a bit better or just a bit more. There was more heaters, I would say, in the package last year, but I digress. I think both
Compared to
films,
2024.
yeah,
Okay.
2024, I would say, had a bit more of films that I love, or at least I value higher. I
Got it.
I think so, at the very least. I think that that year,
Ye-
yeah, yeah. When I look
oh,
at
fuck.
that Red Room's at number one.
Yeah, Red Room's number 4 for me. I mean, come on. You know me. Like,
That's true.
I saw the TV glow. And I think we'll save that talk. And maybe we'll make
Yeah,
an episode, fuck, maybe with all of Jane Schoenbrun's films and lead up to Camp Miasma. Yeah, just a great. I agree though. I do think as a overall package, 2024 was the superior year, but it's also weird. I think it just comes like every single thing in life where like the internet in the moment eats it up, but like on retrospect, they're like actually not that great of a year. Like,
yeah. Because I will say 2023 was probably better than 2024, and
whoa,
then 2022 is probably better than 2023. So I guess we're just chasing that
whoa.
high of 2022. Come on,
Well,
come
I would agree
on.
with you almost in every sentiment, but 2023 being better than 4, because I will agree with you. 2022 is like the megalodon shark, but like,
Maybe not for
um,
you, but I mean, 2023 has one of my favorite movies ever made.
yeah, fuck you. Yeah, and I guess like because your zone of interest, like, but that's my number 6, right? So I look
Sure.
at like I guess top 5: Poor Things, Killers of the Flower Moon, Past Lives, Spider Verse, and then All of Us Strangers in
Yeah.
that order. Um, I mean, I look back and I mean, guess the through line of this little queer boy, but um, like watching All of Us Strangers, like I remember like choking up and like getting like almost like really emotional just talking about the isolation of that film.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, we saw TV Glow twice together, and I saw it in total of 3 times theatrically. But then even like that's not even my number one. Like Queer Eye broke down, you know. Um,
Wait, you put Queer over TV Glow?
no, I put Queer second.
Oh.
Meaning, like, I'm looking back on like the top fives between 2023 and 2024, and
Oh.
I'm saying that like,
Oh.
and then
Oh.
like Miller's point, like I've told you in abundance, and I'm again another thing I look forward to is when we record an episode at at the cabin and we let the Froggers do like little features. Um,
Don't even bring that up.
sorry, say it 3 times.
Anyways, back to the 2025 year. Very,
Yes,
very good year for film.
I agree.
We'll start off with my with 25. I have
Rip it.
Avatar: Fire and Ash. Such a an upgrade from the other two movies in my view. I think it just gets a lot zanier, a lot crazier. I really fucking loved how Gonzo the movie went. I hope we get a 4 and a 5 if they're going to be as nut job as number three. Number 24, I have The Life of Chuck, one of the most underrated of last year, for sure. A very poignant, very beautiful movie with a lot of great scenes. Shout out to Matthew Lillard. Number 23, I have It Was Just an Accident by Jafar Panahi. I believe I'm pronouncing that correct.
Another movie I didn't watch
Yeah,
that,
that was
and I'll save more of that discussion for later. But
sure.
yeah, I regret not saying that.
Great film. I'm glad it's getting Oscar or at least Academy nods. Very confident directing, a very tight screenplay, and one of the most memorable endings of last year for sure. Highest to Lowest is my number 22, by Spike Lee. Very interesting relationship I have with this movie coming out of it. I was a lot hotter than I was, I would say, now. However, I still think about that movie quite a bit. I think it has one of the strongest Jeffrey Wright performances, a lot of great scenes. ASAP Rocky steals the show with basically every scene he's in. I think an underlit one from last year that I think should get more retrospective nods for sure. Number 21, I have The Mastermind by Kelly Reichardt, another one you did not catch.
Motherfucker.
Probably the coziest of the year for
Shut
sure.
up. Shut up.
A beautiful film, very cozy, very quiet, a very also very memorable ending. I'm looking forward to revisiting this one on future watches. I also just want to get more into Kelly Reichardt as a filmmaker as well, because all of her films are very, very cozy and very, very crisp, if you will. Number 20, I have The Testament of Anne Lee. We saw this in 2026 in theaters, but it is a primarily 2025 release. Searchlight dropped the ball with this one. I think that Amanda Seyfried did a phenomenal job. I know that specifically for you, this won't get brought up in this list, but you do love Lewis Pullman in that movie.
No, I would argue maybe like kind of jumping the gun a little bit, but like that might be the only film on this list for you that I am in a completely different realm of.
Yeah. Um, and I wish I was hotter on the movie. Honestly, going into it, I was anticipating like my favorite of the year just from what I'd heard about it, what I had seen from promotional material. Unfortunately, it wasn't that for me, but still a pretty great film, and there are some sequences that I think went a lot. Banger ass soundtrack, by the way. Number
Yeah.
19 is Splitsville. Probably the biggest shocker on this list, besides one that's going to be coming up later. Just a very funny, but also emotionally genuine movie. One of the best adult comedies I think that's come out in recent time. Just a genuinely very well written and directed film with a very likable cast. I think this one's pretty brilliant, and I hope this one also gets a bit more attention because I think that for how good it is and how accessible it is, it should be getting a lot more eyes. Number 18. This will probably be my biggest shocker for anyone that's kind of looking outside in for us. Number 18, I have Sinners. I know a lot of people that's their favorite of the year. A lot of people have that at least in their top 10. I only saw it once. I got to see it in 70 millimeter IMAX. I wish I was hotter on it, truthfully speaking. I know it's going to do a lot of numbers this year in terms of like Academy accolades and whatnot. I already broke the record for highest nominations, which I commend the entire cast and crew for that. It is a very well made film. I don't want to point out too many flaws that I have with it personally. What I will say is just that it's a fucking movie. And even though it's not in my top 10, I do admire it quite a bit. And I'm so glad that that is the mainstream blockbuster that's making waves right now. That's exciting for the industry going forward. Number 17, I have The Phoenician Scheme by Wes Anderson. Also a bit of a shocker, the fact that
Wow.
this was as high as it was. Promotional material leading up to it, I thought it looked very underwhelming. Found a very sweet and messy story that Wes Anderson doesn't really find himself in that often. I very much valued this one and very much felt it very effective. I wish I thought about it a bit more, almost a year out from seeing it, but I do think it's quite the beautiful film.
I will add in real quick that again, if I am going into a movie and like I borderline adore Wes Anderson, so it's a filmmaker that I was like, oh, I'm gonna see no matter anything that he makes, no matter what. I was so convinced, going into it and especially coming out of it. Oh, this is not gonna be Tyson's thing whatsoever. That I like never really even talked to you about it very much at all. So that is a shocked placement for sure.
No, I do think it's quite a great film. I think that it's a very It was one of my favorites in his filmography.
Yeah.
Number 18, or sorry, wrong. Number 16, which also might shock a few people. I have The Long Walk, directed by Francis Lawrence.
That high?
Yeah, I fucking love this movie. I think it's
Oh,
so well made. I think it's so tense. I think it's so graphic and where it needs to be. I think that the lead performances by David Johnson and Cooper Hoffman are just terrific. I think the movie is just pretty exceptional when it comes to just being brutalizing, but also like a film that for sure needs more eyes. Not many people are talking about The Long Walk, which bums me out because I think it's a pretty excellently made movie. Number 15 is one you did also not catch. I watched this one alone. It's the documentary Predators. Such a sick
mm,
movie, but also such a weird twist on the subject matter. I won't say too much about it because I think people should just kind of go in blind. It is kind of about the TV show To Catch a Predator, which was predominantly, I think, in the 90s and 2000s, if I'm not mistaken. Um, just a very disgusting, but also weirdly empathetic movie that I think a lot of people should check out. That one, I wish got a bit more attention from people for sure. Number 14, wish I had it higher, and probably would be higher on a rewatch. I only got to see a chance to see it once. I have Bugonia. Um, Jesse Plemons
mm.
is probably my most upsetting like snub for this year in terms of just Academy attention. I think he did a phenomenal job, but Emma Stone also deserves her flowers. And the side actor, Aiden Delbis, first time actor, terrific job from him as well. Kind of the heart of the film. Um, this movie has probably my favorite ending 5 minutes of the year. It really fucked me up hardcore. Terrific movie. Number 13, also one I wish I had a bit higher, and I don't think it would go too much higher on a rewatch, but I have Lynn Ramsey's Die My Love, a very weird, surrealist film that I appreciate so much. Jennifer Lawrence is phenomenal. Robert Pattinson is phenomenal. Definitely check this one out. I think this one might not be for everybody, but I think it's worth a watch for sure. Number 12, another one that people might be surprised is not in my top 10. And trust me, I'm shocked also because I was very much batting high for this movie. I have no other choice. Directed by Park Chan-wook. One that would definitely go up on a rewatch. It's such a big film for sure. I really, really want to rewatch this one for sure. But I mean, what can I say that hasn't already been said? Just one of the best made movies this year and a technical marvel in every facet. And then number 11, just edging out the top 10, which I'm kind of grateful because if I had this in my top 10, people might throw stones at me. Um, but genuinely, the biggest shocker for me this entire year, I have Is This Thing On, directed by Bradley Cooper.
Oh, shit.
As someone who has not seen A Star Is
Oh,
Born,
my God.
as someone who is not super hot on Maestro, I was not expecting anything from this movie. We watched it kind of just to say we watched it. And I thought it was so touching. I thought it was very sad and very honest. And I thought the two lead performers, Will Arnett and Laura Dern, did a terrific job. This is for sure the one that I think a lot of people are sleeping on. I wish more people were talking about it because it is a genuinely terrific movie. And this is coming from someone who had absolutely no faith in it. I think it's just a well-made adult drama, and I think that we need a bit more of those. Also, big shout out to Bradley Cooper for being a very funny side character, and usually when he puts himself in his own work, a bit iffy on it, but he did a terrific job. So yeah, Is This Thing On, just edging out the top 10, but a pretty terrific movie.
Edging and in the same name of a movie where the director cast himself as Balls is
Balls.
quite the choice, quite the inspired choice. So we have a very, very different list altogether already. And
Good.
funny enough, I'm going to be definitely naming a couple movies that I'm almost certain are in your top 10. Before I get into the 25, I just wanted to, without any sort of divulging into it, Grand Theft Hamlet, Mickey 17, The Shrouds, and Is This Thing On? Those are all the movies right before my top 25. All terrific films. Go check them out. At my number 25, very funny enough, I do have no other choice. A movie that I'm not going to say I very much differed on a second watch, but I do think the momentum of the film almost pulls the wool over your eyes for that sort of emotional undercurrent that I felt. I mean, you and me were doing jumping jacks in your apartment when we rewatched Decision to Leave.
I was humping the couch.
Quite literally one of the greatest films, maybe the best looking film ever made. But the momentum of No Other Choice, funny enough, like it goes by so fast that I wish there was more time to breathe, which might sound a bit hypocritical because it's like a 2 hour and near 20-minute movie. Fun fact: Park Chan Wook is going to be coming out with the director's cut of the film on physical, so I don't know what that entails,
I'm
you
gonna
know.
fucking kiss him.
Yeah, right. I wanted to save that news for the podcast, but yeah, terrific, terrific film with an excellent performance. Loved the ending. At 24, a movie that I remember when it coming out of it, you were like, "Oh, I was almost certain that was going to be your number one." I have highest to lowest, an absolute electric dynamo of a movie where many people, even as the man is going in the batting cage and striking home runs, people either detest it or say the guy is senile. And if you close your eyes and you listen to the movie, you might be right. The score is not very good.
Abysmal,
It,
worst part of the movie. Probably the biggest differential, like in terms of a technical aspect in a film from the actual final quality of it.
I won't disagree. I don't fully hate it as much as you do, but I do agree. But my God, like you know what I'm referring to. There's like that shot, those two shots in the movie of
Terrific.
Jeffrey Wright and someone else. Unbelievable shit. Like a pinky of talent would fulfill a lifetime of that kind of shit. Number 23, a movie that is not going to be on your list, I don't think, at all, if it wasn't in your honorable mentions. And honestly, a movie that I actually do think might skyrocket 10 places if I rewatch it again. Roofman. That
Ooh,
movie, like, shocked me in a way that I didn't even feel when I watched the movie initially. Maybe one of the more underscored dynamics on an emotional level between Kirsten Dunst and Channing Tatum's characters. Derek Cianfrance, I believe, because I always forget.
that's him.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're correct.
yeah, yeah. He knows what the fuck he is doing when it comes to middle class America and the aspirations they have or the feelings they feel behind the backdrop of where they live. Blue Valentine, Place Beyond the Pines, Roofman. Just a terrific, terrific film that also can double as a great Christmas watch eventually. After that, at number 22, I have Nia DaCosta's Hedda, a chamber piece of anxiety that boils to the surface in an elegance and a charisma that I had never expected from Nia DaCosta. Mind you, was never going to count the Marvels because that was made by AI Nia DaCosta over at Marvel. That was not a person of color because, Marvel will never, ever let that happen again. Thank you, Eternals, even though that movie is great. A terrific movie, like a side of the filmmaker that really made me come to understand what she would grow into, especially in the Bone Temple. Just severely underrated filmmaker, and a story with a performance by Tessa Thompson that is so good. Oh my God, I wish that movie got more praise. Number 21, I got to go with the Phoenician Scheme. Again, I think very differently than Tyson does in regards to Wes Anderson's filmography. You don't really very much care for Asteroid City. I think the last 25 minutes of that movie wreck me in a way that many Wes Anderson films don't even come close to. But again, I might be a contrarian in that regard because I ultimately think like Darjeeling Limited is his best film. But the Phoenician Scheme feels like him at his most experimental, at his most judgmental. If Asteroid City was him critiquing himself as an artist, this is a movie looking at him as a parent, and I always love the parent film dynamic. So terrific, terrific movie. And number 20, a movie that a lot of people, especially after it came out, have been really critiquing and calling it emotionally manipulative, and I think they're absolutely stupid. Hamnet absolutely devastated me. I love the shit out of it, and obviously, we spoke. The context I have with the Shakespearean text is very different than anyone else. And that hit me in a particular time in my life that felt very apt in the text of what Hamnet is saying about loss, letting go, forgiving the people that you held closest. It wrecked me. I think Chloe Zhao is such a talented voice. And every time I hear her speak on panels, she's just a burst of energy.
She has a septum piercing.
Is that true?
That is true. I saw a photo of it.
You and the women with septum piercings.
Oh fuck.
Should I be concerned? You love them little cowbells. Moo. Sorry. At number 19, a movie that we have watched very recently, and I made a statement that I still stand on about it. James Sweeney's follow up with Twinless. This film, I saw it in theaters. There's about 3 moments in that movie that you can pluck and will eviscerate every single emotion I have. And a lot of it comes down to obviously James Sweeney is playing many hats in this, but Jesus Christ, Dylan O'Brien, I hope and think is finally getting his flowers and sunlight. He is very well deserving, playing a role that has a lot of layers to it. The movie looks great, it feels great, it's written so well. Just such a unique take on that concept of grief and finding comfort in a community amidst it. And then at number 18, I have a film that in the moment I was like, either this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, or maybe it's the alcohol I wasn't drinking hitting me. Caught by the Tides, a film that when we went to the Barnes and Noble to blind buy it, the cashier who we now have his letterbox, shout out to the cashier if you're listening to this from Irvine Spectrum, he looked at it and we had told him it was a blind buy, and his reaction was
You're blind buying Caught by the Tides?
quite literally as if we were about to commit a cardinal sin or we were about to have our lives changed. And I think kind of both. Any filmmaker that takes the swing of taking the stance of shooting with old footage, you're crazy. Great, great, great movie. At 17, we have a triple threat of a filmmaker who has released 3 films in the span of 12 months.
What are you gonna put right there? What are you doing?
You know what I'm going to do.
What are you doing?
I'm putting presents.
Oh, okay.
Would you?
Osgood Perkins.
Oh no, no! He quite literally is like the Pixar lamp that like is squishing on his own career with the Pixar eye. Like, what are you doing, motherfucker? But hopefully, Kush Jumbo saves us. Kush, if you're listening to this, we love you. No, Presents just funny enough that came out in like January, and it has stuck with me ever since. And you hit it on the head when you said it has one of the best parent performances from Chris Sullivan. I mean, my family was a big This Is Us watch, and he's in that, but Jesus Christ. And then everyone in the film is just great. Although I will admit that there is some acting that is like, oof, it's a little rough. But conceptually, when you attach a camera and Steven Soderbergh as he is like with socks coasting throughout a house on .5 zoom, he's nuts. That movie's incredible. It is so ethereal, and it hits what I think many people say a ghost story does that I've never gotten. And a wonderful, wonderful ending.
Really quick, too, I will add, I don't want to spoil too much, I won't say too much. Probably top 3 screams ever in that movie. There's a scream in that movie that is
Yeah,
so good,
yeah,
and especially the context of it, like literally gave me full body chills, and I was like, oh, like that might have.
yeah.
It's not. I will spoil. It's not in my top 10, but that I think low key increased like half a star rating because of how good that scream was.
I just overall think that the movie is pretty wonderful. And it could at any point become a bit goofy with David Koepp is such an odd fucking writer. Like he has millions. He never has to write again. But like he wrote that and that other Steven Soderbergh movie, which has one of my favorite screenplays of last year. But unfortunately, that movie is not on this list tonight. I apologize. Just so many good movies from this or last year. So, come, we're getting closer, guys. Do not worry. At number 16, we have a movie that you didn't watch, which makes me a little sad because I know you wouldn't have loved it to the degree that I did, but it's just such a great time. Freaky Tales. This comes from the directing duo. I don't know if they're just friends or partners, but Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck. They did Captain Marvel, but they also did like that Ryan Gosling movie Half Nelson. They're just so talented, and it's this collage of different stories with all these different A-listers that are in the movie for like maybe a minute to even longer that all divulge in the end, but it's a love letter to Oakland, to cinema, to 70s schlock that is just so committed at every turn. It is the kind of movie that if it's raining, if someone's like, "What movie can I watch that I'll enjoy?" I will tell them Freaky Tales left, right, and center. Just a fucking blast that coasts by. Yeah, I'm so glad it exists. That's one movie that I could just sit back and revel in and be like, "Fuck yeah." Now we're in top 15 territory. You talked about it a little earlier. I don't really regret putting it as low as I do because I really do stand, not that you don't feel like you stand on all the movies that came after it, but yeah, Sinners. I mean, what I will add is I really do think it would be a more of a net positive, and ultimately, I'm not going to say more deserving. I think Ryan Coogler deserves it all this year. I think what he's done for not only his career, but the people around him, the artists that are going to be inspired by him, what this means for big budget original storytelling, and it's just dynamite through and through. Ludwig's score, Autumn Durald's cinematography, everybody in the film is just on aces to a point where it makes me really sad. I think Miles Catton was one of the more underappreciated, snubbed performances that should have gotten so much more award recognition. So happy Delroy Lindo got nominated. I will admit that I as much as the guitarist from Metallica can swell my ears and Jack O'Connell's long ass fingernails, that last 30 minutes does feel a little disjointed to a point where like the plotting of the characters feels like, wait, what's going on? How did we get here? But other than that, dynamite shit. At number 14, I have a movie that I'm a lot considerably lower on than you are, but I still adore it. Marty Supreme.
Murray Supreme, Murray Supreme.
Just what can I say? Although it is unfortunate that like everything that has gotten unearthed about the Safdies exists, and it makes you just wonder if one of their biggest strengths, in my opinion, which was their eye for casting people off the street, is also one of their greatest weaknesses, which is not taking care of their actors enough. There's no but to that. This movie did work for me in a way that I think when you can whip out a line that is bringing up being a vampire, I won't get into context.
Let me tell you something.
Oh,
I was born in 1801.
16.
1601. I'm a vampire.
And that maybe media literacy is at an all-time low, but people really thought that he was a vampire, and the ending makes people think that it's trying to absolve or to critique, but all I will say is it made me weep in like a way that is quite literally the last 30 seconds of the movie. We've watched it with people who don't think Timothy Chalamet deserves the award.
Or even a nomination.
Like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, I think no matter what, like, I think what he is doing in his career right now is such a unique step in all these multimedia facets. He was terrific in the movie. Odessa Zion, unbelievable. You got Tyler, Darius Kanji shot it, Daniel Lopatin score, another insane fucking snub. Are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
what were people on? Like, or what weren't people on? Just great stuff. I just found 13 movies that I appreciated a bit more. Number 13, Avatar Fire and Ash, a movie I've seen 3 times now, so that's close to 10 hours worth of one movie. Um, yeah, a movie that is willing to get very critical with the creations you've made, meaning like James Cameron built this world, and he has a deep reverence for or for Jake Sully and Neytiri, but like he's willing to trudge them through the mud and let them be flawed and angry and revenge fueled, and it's the exact sort of shit that I love. It takes swings and it goes to different biomes with action set pieces. It gets sensual, it gets freaky. I loved it. Although Jack Champion motherfucker, I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't go keep acting. Like it's rough. You're a lot better in this than you were in Way of Water. But the movie hinges so much on him. But the fact that it doesn't sink it is sort of a miracle unto itself. I'll be heartbroken if we don't get 4 and 5. The rumor mill is that James Wan is going to be taking over for the Avatar films because he's done. Because James Cameron, James, did I say James Wan? I said James Wan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted. They're low key circling. Because
Wait, I'm sorry, what
sorry,
did you
so
say?
let me back it up for a second. So obviously James Wan has the filmmaking career of like horror, but he also did Aquaman, so he's like very familiar with it.
No, shut up. James Wan is taking over
No, it's not guaranteed. He's circling. That's like
He's
the
gonna make Avatar 4 and 5.
because James is kind of like,
Oh my fucking god, Jim Cameron, get the fuck out of the driver's seat.
call me Ocean Master. We have a deep reverence for at least an Aquaman film that James Wan had an influence in. But no, just excellent stuff. And number 12, a movie that I am lower on than you, I think, but a movie nonetheless that has hit over and over again as I've thought about it. Sentimental value. Joachim Trier and Renette's. Well, I always forget her name. It's Renette's Reinsve, she is just so good, and obviously Stellan Skarsgård. But my God, her name Inga Lianes or Lies, I totally butchered her. Who plays the sister or the younger daughter in the film? A performance that I have thought about so much since watching the movie. The way in which parents and children who have issues untreated go about channeling that into their profession, into their adult lives. Um, just, just such an incredible movie. And then at number 11, a movie that I really, really wanted to put higher. And for a long time, it was in my top 10. Earlier, it was in my top 5. But just the existence of it, the star power of this person who deserves nothing but the love that they're given. Eva Victor's Sorry Baby. A movie that just for me came out of nowhere, even though it had the A24 name to it. Just out the gate, man, making this your debut that you star in and you write, and you have this amount of vulnerability about a serious, deeply disturbing event that could unfortunately transpire for anybody. They handled it with such a care and a love, with an ending that is up there for me as like a top ending of the year.
Really,
Oh yeah. Oh,
I don't like the ending.
you're fucking stupid.
Sorry, sorry,
Are
sorry.
you serious?
Yeah, I don't like the ending.
Oh, that's actually like really?
I don't like the ending.
Why?
It feels too poem wrapped in a little bow for me. I guess we can't really say what it is, but
That's cr-
we can have a conversation
I
after
don't even think
this.
you are allowed to say that. Like
This might actually get me killed 3 times, but that might actually prevent it from being in my top 25.
you're so stupid. That's I. Oh my.
Sorry,
51 minutes.
I
51
I
minutes, and I
stun
delete
mugged
this
you.
fucking file right now. If you don't let me suck your dick, I'm gonna kill myself. Like you, boxer Santero, get the fuck out of here.
Sorry.
I'm done speaking. You, bitch, go do your 10, 9, and 8, you motherfucker.
Sorry.
You fucking chud. Like you saw that like Gerber
Sorry.
baby. Oh, sorry, I don't want to spoil it. But you're such a beta.
I'm
Quite
sorry. I'm
literally, you're like
sorry.
that dude in Seven who got had to like fuck the person with the knife. He's like,
I'm the fat guy eating the soup.
oh, it was spaghetti.
Oh. No, wasn't it SpaghettiOs? Because didn't he spell out a clue in SpaghettiOs?
There's no shot. There's no
David Fincher.
fucking hack. I do that on the daily with my spaghettios, bitch.
Whatever.
Oh, that's fuck
Sorry,
you.
sorry, sorry. I actually had a comment to make, but I completely forgot about
Yeah,
whatever.
you fucked up the equilibrium,
Sorry,
bitch.
sorry. Um, my number 10. Well, wait, we're doing.
So 10, 9, 8. So you just stop at 8. You like say what your 8 is, but you don't do
Oh,
7.
my mistake, my mistake.
Hmm.
Number 10. We're our top tens are gonna get some people like kind of staticky. Number 10, which looking at this, it might actually be higher with how much I've thought about this movie, but I have
Predator Badlands.
number 10. I do have. Oh, actually,
Did you say Eddington?
oh no 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 no. Actually, never mind. Never mind. You fucked up the equilibrium again. I'll tell you why later. Number 10, I have Edgar Wright's The Running Man. I'm no, I'm just kidding.
Get out, get out, get out of your room.
Number 10, I have Ryan Johnson's Wake Up Dead Man. Um,
Okay.
a very messy film, but one that has, I think, besides my number one film of the year, the most memorable scenes and moments out of the entire year thus far. I adore. Or I don't know why I said so far like the year's still going. Last year.
Yeah.
I adore this film. I think that it is fuck, that's not true. The first Knives Out's great, but I think that the direction that Glass Onion went was so kind of not for me that the fact that he returned to his most spiritually driven film with Wake Up Dead Man, with probably one of my favorite scripts of the year, and Josh O'Connor, man,
Yeah. Yeah.
I fucking love you to death, dude. Like you're my guy. I would marry you. I would support you. I would if you come on the podcast, I would make sweet love to you.
We would get an ear each and have a full goddamn meal.
I love you, Josh O'Connor, in every single facet. But yeah, no, quite the beautiful movie, dude. I won't speak too much about it because I do know that you have some words to say about it as well, but I
It's
adore it.
okay. It's just as much as it is yours as it is mine.
I don't even know if I can agree with that. Number nine, which you did acknowledge, Black Bag, Steven Soderbergh.
Oh yeah.
I was kind of shocked by how much I adored this movie, and this is for sure the number one of the year in terms of not enough recognition. Not enough people saw this movie. Not enough people talked about this movie. It
Yeah.
is quite the fucking amazing, just short little stint of energy.
Hmm.
It's short, it's sweet, it's well acted. Um, both leads through Michael Fassbender and Kate Blanchett are so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's unreal. But even the supporting
Yeah.
act
Give them, give
performances,
them, give them their flowers.
Marissa Abella, by far one of the best supporting acts of the year.
Even though her partner in that movie, the guy with the beard,
Yeah,
what a fucking behemoth.
yeah.
The dude, he was in Furiosa, right?
Tom Burke.
Is that his name? Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe. I
Because he
don't.
was the dude that I think helped Furiosa with
Yeah, 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 yeah.
what a
Um,
oh my, and the lighting and the
yeah, the
oh my
lighting is perfect. You can gawk at it with me because I know that you weren't able to acknowledge it in your top 25, but I truly fucking was. I was flabbergasted by how much I love this movie. So many great moments and
yeah,
scenes. Specifically like there's a lie detector montage, so well edited and put together. The fact that
sure,
Steven Soderbergh is just kind of doing his thing in the editing room,
uh-huh,
shooting it and directing it. It's it's impeccable. It's the most unitary or one man kind of creation out of
yeah,
everything this year. I would say that's far besides Presence, which I think is a bit more scrappy. I
uh-huh,
mean,
uh-huh,
okay, shut the fuck up. I
uh-huh.
see your dumb smile on my list at the very least, and I think he hit it out of the park. I think if you have not seen Black Bag, I implore every single person to watch Black Bag. I think it's
Sure.
phenomenal.
Without question. Without now, hold on, real quick. My question to you: what is your favorite moment in that movie? Because you bring up the lie detector. Um, is it the dinner scene?
It's the dinner scene. I can't remember exactly what is discussed verbatim in
I
that
remember your
scene.
reaction.
Yeah, but it's lit like fucking. It's lit like
Like when you get flashbangs.
yeah, like it's insane. It's like so overexposed, but in the best way
Yeah,
possible.
it's called light halation, where it is the exposure of the lights and even what you put as like the wattage into the light bulbs themselves. Like what he's choosing to go full like dream state Mojave Desert type bullshit. It's crazy.
When you acknowledge one of your top tens, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. Shut the fuck up. I can see your dumb fucking face. Number eight, and before I stop, I think also one you'll be talking about as well, unless I'm just crazy. Weapons by Zach Krager. I had such an interesting response to this movie. The first time I watched it, I was very like, huh, like I'm not too sure. It's good, but
Yeah,
I wasn't fully in love with it. And then it took rewatches to fully grasp how brilliant I think this movie is. I think that it is very similar to Magnolia, like many have said, in terms of the split perspectives, but also the messiness and how it embraces it.
hmm,
I think the fact that he does his own score is so baller. I think the performances are all so fucking good.
yeah,
Um, Josh Brolin, man, you are an unsung hero of the film industry. I fucking adore you.
yeah. He's Thanos, but like people sleep on that motherfucker. He's
Yeah,
amazing.
he's terrific, especially in weapons. Just a fun ending all around. I'm very grateful that the movie's getting some accolades with Amy Madigan.
Yeah,
She's terrific in the movie. I remember actually telling you that, and probably in a second watch, that she was my favorite performance of the year. Or sorry, wrong performance of the movie.
yeah,
And she is absolutely terrific in the film. I love her to death in that role, and I love weapons. I wish the phenomenal marketing didn't gear people to a film that they weren't able to truly love, but I do think that
yeah.
it amounted to such a awesome experience for us, and one that we reaped the.
Beneflick. Sorry,
You're up.
I'm sorry. Where are you going? And don't open the window. You just hear like like the wind and like
A, a,
Nirvana the
a
band.
Columb.
Oh, sploosh. I'm go okay. I'm gonna comment on that because I will be talking about it. Yes, spoiler, but I want to say this before because I know I'm gonna forget when I get to it. Definitely last year's version of Long Legs, but one that I think is saying a lot more and we like quite a bit more in terms of reception.
Yes.
In terms of reception,
Y-
like marketed terrifically.
Yeah, like I guess like the expectations that were set by marketing weren't
Hmm.
as different than what Longlegs portrayed. Granted, I don't think that movie also like catfished people like they claim that it did,
Sure, sure.
but I will agree that like the marketing for weapons was pretty similar to the experience. I guess
Hmm.
just people had concepts of what the movie they wanted it to be, and it
Hmm.
wasn't what they wanted it to be,
Yeah.
and that disappointed them.
Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to bring that up before. So at my number 10, I probably have the movie that I am most sad that you didn't watch. The one that like, oh, how emotional did we get today?
Drop,
Huh?
drop.
No. You wanna guess again?
No, I'm good.
I revoke my speaking privileges. Um, actually, Elio. I'm sorry.
Was that a serpent's tongue?
um, no. It to me, this is the movie that I don't even know if anyone is gonna have this in any list, and it's not because of the movie itself, but just because of the lack of ears and eyes on it. It is this documentary, A Kingdom of Tea and Strangers. This comes to us by a YouTuber that I watched growing up, like back in like 2018. She did a lot of movie reviews, and I loved watching her. Like it was awesome. And then when I found out that she was making a documentary about this, I don't want to call it a commune, but more so like this safe haven called Labrie, and there's several different locations throughout the world of like places for a season you can go to without paying anything. All you need to do is just help the community, and it's a place where if you're feeling lost in life or lost spiritually, you can find yourself. You're not forced or upheld to have to do conservative lifestyle or Christian views, but just live within this community and hopefully find a more sound version of yourself by the end of it. And this documentary was made by Georgia and their at the time partner. And it's just this unbelievable film about finding yourself. And it was at the time like a movie that helped really restore a lot of the concepts within myself that a movie I think will further down this list. Just my concepts of faith and ideology that as I thought was going to be forever tarnished just by my upbringing. It's a film that made me realize that like I do miss the concept of feeling a nucleus of faith in a way that was before I felt the back end of being subjugated to it or subjected to it. It felt good. It felt good, and I think like in a myriad of ways, spiritually, sexually, on an ideological level and a gender level, like there's a part of me that wishes to go back to when I was blind, when I didn't wake up, I guess, and realize that like that isn't who I am because life would be so much easier. But this movie, this documentary helped me come to terms with the fact that I don't need to wish about that part of my life, which made me realize, without knowing it, that I wanted to not be here. Yeah, just an incredible fucking movie. I own it on Blu-ray. Georgia's an incredible artist. She's wonderful. A very affirming movie. Diving, funny enough, into a movie you had brought up, but one that it's like I look at it. Actually, funny enough, 9, 8, and 7 out of all the ones in my top 10 are like the three movies that I'm like, are they really that high? But like, yeah, I know I can't kid myself. Like The Life of Chuck knocked the wind out of my sails. A movie with a filmmaker that I'm so glad I got to share. You,
I'm listening to
you're
you.
looking at me
I'm listening to you.
like Badlands chugs with like a big gallon of Hawaiian punch. You're like
I'm
licking your
looking at
lips like
you.
I'm a mirage and I'm like a stack of pancakes.
I'm hungry.
Del Taco run after this period. Life, life. You okay? Well, you came out of this movie and you said that it was like the worst part of it was the way it looked,
Yes.
and I can't agree with it, but it's unfortunate because when you stack it against a filmmaker's career who like shot Midnight Mass, or built an entire revolving set of 20-minute one takes for an hour and 20 minutes of an episode for like Haunting of Hill House, I don't disagree. But I look back on it and its visual language and how bright it is, how I guess we call it like soundstagey, it somewhat looks with how harsh it's lit, not in a black bag sort of way, but like it to me is like such an encapsulation of the way that the movie makes me feel. It shouldn't work. It is in a lot of ways a mess, but like a movie that is adapting a source material of like a shorter story. And like I'm really happy you brought up like the Matthew Lillard part in that film. There's just these moments with actors that he has had in his roster, like his wife.
David Dismulchian.
Oh my fuck! Oh
That
my
scene
fucking
is
god! Doesn't he bring up like
ridiculous.
Pornhub?
Yeah, it's
Like,
awesome.
like, and like the scene, like, and I've heard so many people say it's like silly and dumb, but like with the drums, like, man, just like thinking about like there's like a match cut to like when he was a kid and seeing his mom. Oh man, that's that gets me. It gets me, man. And I think the final shot in that movie is just so beautiful. Um, Mike Flanagan is a full hearty filmmaker that is always looking towards the humanism in situations no matter what. And that movie fucking hit me. And I will stand on it. And I'm gonna have to stand even harder now because there's probably 10 movies that I have mentioned that when I say this movie, people are gonna be like, motherfucker, you're so stupid. Why do you have it this high? I gotta live my truth. Superman banged. Superman was such a terrific time, a jolt of it. I have to turn my chair around. You're getting closer. um, look, you like Superman. You quite enjoyed Superman. Don't kid yourself,
I
bitch.
do. I'm
Okay.
I'm excited for you.
Uh, as you're loading something, what are you loading? I loved it. Look, I think like people, funny enough, really do critique the movie, blast it to oblivion. There's moments that you say don't look good. It made me feel really fucking good watching it, and that might be like the one sneak in this video or in this episode into my list.
Nope.
And on a
Nope.
public
I don't give a fuck.
on a public level, yeah, you got to. The no other film except for maybe the one that we saw together, the public has taken and like really try to lower it down. We'll get to that movie when I bring it up, but I loved it. I thought David Cornsweet was terrific. I mean, like the fact that there is like a 12-minute nothing but dialogue scene in the movie of him and Lois talking, and you get more charisma and chemistry in that one scene than you do in a majority of like it brought me back to the days of Sam Raimi, where it's just unapologetic, and whether you appreciate it or not, like James Gunn is always just visually doing something and narratively, I thought it was a blast. Just a great movie. I loved it, and I will forever be grateful that it exists. Um, and I'm glad that James Gunn is like a part of DC. But yeah, so that's up to my number 8. So, what is your 7, 6, and 5?
Oh shit.
All right.
Um.
The gorge.
Okay.
The gorge.
This is the one that we're both gonna have that is gonna make the most people like shoot us with a rifle.
And that's the one I think I just referenced. Not
Oh,
that I said, but the one that I think people critique me.
yes, yes. I have Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein
Stand on it, bitch.
at number 7. This just really fucking worked for
Yeah.
me, and I even like on a visual level, on a writing level,
Hmm.
on a artistic level. Obviously, no one's critiquing the look in terms of like production design and
Yeah.
costuming of a Guillermo del Toro movie. He has
Hmm.
that unlock. He always has been.
Hmm.
He works with very talented people.
Hmm.
Um, the visual cinematography, on the other hand, people fucking like throw
They
flame balls.
crucify.
If anything, that's the reason I would say that kills it for a lot of people. A lot of people do not like how this movie looks, and they don't
Hmm.
like Oscar Isaac's performance.
Crazy.
Now, I think Oscar Isaac is very good in this movie.
Hmm.
Granted, he's a bit hamming up the character,
I
but I
agree.
think it's appropriate for the movie.
Hmm.
The visual style really worked for me. I don't know, it gave me vibes of like God of War, like the new one on PlayStation
Good.
5,
Good.
like
Good point.
just
Good
kind of
point.
atmospherically, kind of always kind of taking a third person point of view behind the characters. But there is just very specific like cinematic shots, like from a movie level,
Yeah.
that just look terrific. One of my favorites is when he blows out the Molotov, I believe, that Frankenstein is holding, and then the monster blows out the Molotov. Do you know what I'm talking about? When they're in the winter kind of area. Yeah, such a
Yeah.
cool
Oh
lighting
yeah.
choice and just angle. I like how this movie looks a lot. I don't care what anyone says. I
Hmm.
I never was even like, oh, I'm trying to cope and defend this guy because I'm not as hot on Guillermo del Toro as you are. Not because I don't love his work, but just
There's you haven't seen.
I haven't seen a lot of his stuff. Granted, seeing Frankenstein and seeing Nightmare Alley, I'm a lot more privy to his work
Fuck
and I
yeah.
appreciate it. But I haven't watched the big one, which is The Shape of Water, which I think would probably be my favorite.
Yeah.
Um, but that being said, this movie really worked for me. Got me to cry. I'm a sucker for a cute old man that's very sweet, and this
Mm.
movie has that.
You haven't even talked about.
Yeah, I know, because
Get to it.
you're gonna talk about it. Yeah,
True. All right. All right.
Jacob Elordi's great.
Shut.
Liz will finish up later.
Ah.
Um, number 6, Cop of the Tides by Gia. I'm not even gonna
Gia
attempt.
Coppola.
I'm not gonna even attempt to
I can
pronounce
I can
that.
try. Let me just scroll back to like 99 because that movie sucked.
Uh, Zhang, Zhang, I can't.
Nope, that's all you.
Yeah, no, I'm good. However, despite me not being able to pronounce their last name, what a film. Such a just mind boggle of a movie. It's sleepy, but it's also invigorating. It looks phenomenal. It feels terrific. It feels nostalgic, but also inventive. I would catalog this movie in terms of like having three distinct acts, and I think all three provide something so interesting and unique. There's so many
Mm.
swings in this movie, and I'm maybe speaking a bit highly for a film I've only seen once. And granted, it was in a state of kind of lunacy with you by my side, and I think we had like we cracked open a couple of cold ones.
Without question.
Um, However, just I had a great time with it, and I think about that movie quite a bit ever since watching it, and I own it.
You do.
Thanks, blind buying guy from Irvine Spectrum. I hope.
Juicy Boy, whatever his name
Yeah,
is on
we'll get you on the
Letterboxd.
pod. I really hope so.
I can't wait.
Um, but yeah, terrific. This is one that I think a lot of people have as their number one of the year list. A lot of people that we look up to in terms of
Hmm.
reviewers. Um, but I would say if you're not taking their opinions for it, take mine, valuable listener. Please go watch Caught of the Tides and
Fuck yeah.
probably not really fuck with it, but at least watch something you probably haven't seen before. Number 5, you didn't see it, Resurrection
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
by Begone or Bygone
I think
or
it's Began.
Began.
Began or Begun.
Cool as, no matter how you look at it, cool as fuck.
Shit, shit.
Resurrection is the best looking movie of last year. It is the best score of last year. It has some of the most memorable moments of last year. It is probably on a rewatch the most gonna be improved from last year. This movie is definitively for me one of the best of last year. You haven't seen it yet, so I don't want to say too much about it.
Please don't.
I encourage anybody who has not seen this movie or even heard of this movie, go support it, go watch it. This is like gonna be like this is the shit. Like, I think with how the response was to Decision to Leave in 2022,
Hmm.
people look back on 2025 as the year that holds Resurrection. I think 2022, a lot of people weren't saying that Decision to Leave was the best of that year because there was a lot of fuego heat out
Hmm.
that year.
Hmm.
But a couple of years' time, retrospectively, people are going to be holding this movie up to a different standard.
You say that like on a rewatch it'll improve, and obviously like the ceiling's already so high. Do you see it going above any of the films that you are going to mention?
I'm not even joking. I can see this movie being number one. I can see Resurrection going up to my number one spot there. Granted, I think it'd probably be closer, maybe 2 or 3, because my number one I have such great
Yeah,
memories with already, and it just came out.
yeah.
However, Resurrection is
Hmm.
undescribably fucking good,
Because I
and
yeah,
that's the one you haven't seen. Liz has not seen Resurrection, and that's the one I'm throwing most stones at them for not seeing because it
I
is
trust me,
just.
I know, I know.
It's not just me singing the praise. Basically, it's universal,
Thanks for the
and
invite,
it's
queer.
very much. It's a good one for sure.
Well, glossing over that because I'm pissed. I'm pissed now. I forgot it was that high. At number 7, it was already talked about. A movie that should not work to the degree that it does. A movie that has such a fascinating structure, but its last 30 minutes, like, funny enough, is the thing that actually loses people the most. It's the thing that enraptured me. It's the movie, um, one of like probably top three movies that ends from last year, and the taste in my mouth, like it just leaves me feeling so cold. Weapons is amazing. I think Zach Krager is an incredible voice in the industry, and again, the fact alone that like Pedro Pascal was supposed to be in Josh Brolin's role, and then Renat Reinsve was supposed to be in Julia Gardner's role, but like they all are so good as they are. Like even like Benedict Wong was supposed to be someone else. Like all of these people that are in the movie that are so terrific were not afterthoughts, but like responses because they couldn't get the original actors. But like the best performances from that kid. I don't give a fuck. Like I think the kid who plays Alex is so talented, and I will admit that there's a lot of myself that I feel through being raised in a household where there are certain things that he has to do to step up given his age that brought me back to a place that I hadn't thought in such vivid detail in a minute. And it's just it's a movie that's so fascinatingly like I looked at as a read of violence and how that affects a suburbic life and the lies that are being told when you feel that suburbia will provide safety, but it's been the talk like you have said, and I guess like I didn't dive enough too deep into it, which was the angle of alcoholism and the way that addiction fuels the behaviors of those around you. And obviously like I'm not going to be the first to say this, and Zach Krager will lead the front lines. Like so much of this is reaction to the death of his best friend, and seeing the vices and the behaviors that happen to a community in the amidst a tragedy of answers they'll never get, or questions and answers. And it's just it's a terrific film that shouldn't work as well as it does. Every time I've rewatched it, I saw it three times. I love it even more. I cannot wait for what that man is cooking up with Resident Evil. It's going to be amazing. So sad that people don't really like jump onto this movie nearly enough. It looks incredible. It sounds wonderful. It is performed and edited like that track that plays like
We
it's like
kind of made it
we
like
actually low
together,
key
yeah.
did because we that's gonna be our costume. I'm gonna be I forget what his name is, but like and the fact that he's leading the Resident Evil, oh, dude, just a great time. We saw it. Um, I guess yeah, we saw it with a group of people. It was awesome. Had a great time. Yeah, so that's my number seven. My number six, I ain't gonna beat around the bush. Maybe the movie that I talk about the least, just because everything's been said, one battle after another. What I will say, motherfucker, that trailer came out, and when Bear Grylls Lockjaw, whatever his name is, what is it, Steve Lockjaw?
Steve Lockjaw.
He like and it's Sean Penn, and I'm like, oh, dude, you're gonna love this movie. And I don't even remember where you have it on the list. I forget, but like you loved it. You loved it. We saw it several times. Um, just an incredible movie, and I understand the criticisms that are leveled. While the politics of the movie are not very muddy, like it does stand itself pretty clean. The optics of Paul Thomas Anderson and the way that he portrays, especially like black women in the film, I think it's a very fascinating angle. And I'm not going to sit here and say that the people who have issue or take issue with it are wrong. That is not my position to be in. But I definitely think the movie works at its best for me when it is a film about a father trying his damnedest, no matter how much he fails or how much he acknowledges his wrongs. There is a moment where he talks about not being able to do something for his daughter that is just like, oh, Jesus Christ. There's an extended part of the movie with Benicio del Toro that is like the craziest, greatest thing of last year. And then of course Chase Infinity. Everyone in this movie, like what I love so much is like it's the inverse of Zack Snyder. Like him shooting his own films was like the greatest thing he could have ever done for his career. Like it looks so unkept at a lot of times. It doesn't have the elegance in a way that like a Robert Elswit would shoot his movies, and I think it's all the better for it. You know, just a wonderful film, wonderful fucking movie, and I won't say too much for obvious reasons. Because at number five, you're gonna like be chiefing and laughing and whatnot because we've seen it and it was an alley oop from the moment we started it. But like you obviously are not very strong on it. Tinsman Road, the movie that a lot of people are not going to be talking about.
No, what are we doing? What are we doing here? What are
Like
we
I
doing?
just
What the fuck are we
I
doing?
I really I don't care. I don't
I don't even
care.
give a fuck about Tintin Row. No, you're getting your ass beat. I'm being so fucking serious.
Yeah, shut up, bitch. Shut up, bitch. Tinsman Road, a movie because I know many people haven't seen it. I don't even know if it has distribution yet. We saw it at the last showing in a theater that had 5 people in it, and I want to say like Robbie Banfich's like family was all there, like asking him questions as sleeper agents.
His
Um,
groupies.
it 100%, but it is a found footage film about trying to find answers between a mom and her son and the estranged relationship that births because of an event that took place in their nucleus. And he casts his own mother. He shoots the film. He edits it. He stars in it. Maybe it's a tad bit long, but like you got to understand, if you listen to episode 1, even a little bit in episode 2, and you're gonna get a lot of it in episode 3, SOV, lo-fi, no-budget filmmaking is the future for me, and I think the emotional undercurrent that on a pure technical principle has for me alone is something that like has given me air in my lungs. But then you tie in a directly emotional level narrative to it that is just like wow, and to me it has that would also be in top 3 like endings that just I swallow my big dry saliva and I'm like, oh my god. Terrific movie. Robbie, if you're listening, let me be the Remy in your hat. No, wait. Remy's the cook, right?
Yeah.
He can be the Remy to my rat. His name's really Ratatouille?
No, dumbass. His
Remy.
is Remy.
That's what I
Lemuel.
said.
Lemuel.
Luigi.
No,
No.
Lemuel.
No, that's the theater.
No, that's his name. Lemuel.
That is not his
Emil. Emil.
you
Emil. Emil.
fucking
Emil.
idiot. Sorry. As we have like as he has like roommates
We're
that are
stimming
probably
off.
so, yeah, that Tinsman Road, go check it out. It has some incredible atmosphere, heavily borrows from Blair Witch. Like, I mean, even in the Q&A, like people were asking different variations, like inspirations, and he was like, Blair Witch Project, so it's like the influence is on his sleeve, but I loved it. I don't care. I don't care what your big fucking feet in my face say.
I don't give a fuck about Tinson Road, and that's not why I'm upset. I'm upset because what they're gonna say in a second.
Uh huh.
Um,
Uh huh.
my number 4, Mario Supreme by Josh Safdie. Um, I think this movie will age very interestingly, for sure,
Sure.
in Timothy Chalamet's career, in the Safdie's career, just kind of in the 2025 image. I am very grateful that it was very successful. It feels like such a big swing, and they were pulling so many stops to make sure this worked. And I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure this is A24's highest grossing film ever.
I believe so. Yes.
Which congratulations to that, to the entire cast and crew. So much effort and detail and love was put into these sets, into these costumes, into making this movie feel of its time. But really, what it boils down to is just the performances. I think this movie is just such a ensemble heavy film, and everyone is doing such great legwork, even from the non-actors.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Big time.
Abel Ferreira, so good.
Where the fuck is my dog?
That was really
Thank
good.
you.
That
Thank you.
was
Thank
really
you.
good.
Thank you.
Uh, uh, shout out to Endo, the guy he played against.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, 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 yes.
doesn't say a word.
Wordless, but says everything.
Oh, he's actually deaf. I'm being
Yeah.
serious. Like he's actually deaf.
What? Can we?
No,
No.
no.
Okay.
Um, but Timmy, I love him. I just rewatched Call Me by Your Name. Actually, funny enough, that might take the cake for my favorite performance of his. Because on a rewatch, goddamn, he's so good in that movie. But,
But have you
um,
seen Don't Look Up?
Mario Supreme, he's doing a phenomenal job. It's just a great time. I like to watch a douchebag be a douchebag, and I like
Mm.
to see him get his comeuppance in the end. For those who think he didn't learn a lesson or that he got what he wanted by the end of it, you have no media literacy, and I don't think you should be watching movies. Thank you for giving your money to A24 and for supporting the film, but please stop watching films. Actually, low key, everyone needs to stop watching this movie. I think the conversation's gotten annoying about it.
Yeah, but you can't even say that. You
I've seen a
physically.
lot of Instagram reels, funny enough, of people. I can't. I guess whatever.
Yeah, that's neither here nor
That's a
there.
different bullshit. But nonetheless,
Hmm.
um, terrific, fun, very funny, very energized movie making magic. Go fuck yourself, Benny Safdie, you big fuck. The
Yeah.
Smashing Machine is not on either of our top tens. I'll spoil that for fucking everybody.
Wait, actually, let's trace. Let's trace the chemtrails and see where does it actually land on our list.
It was number 46 for me. So I still enjoyed it, but
Dang it! I would have made the funniest joke, but it's at number 68 for me. Damn.
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 Yeah, fuck you, Dwayne Johnson. Fuck you, Benny Safdie. Love you though, big guy. Excited to see you as Bowser Jr.
I'm
Um,
Bowser Jr.
yeah. Number three. I'm a,
Wait. No, 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 no.
what?
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, 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 sorry.
Damn.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not wait. I'm not ready for Toxic Avenger.
Number three.
Uh huh.
I'm gonna say it. I'll give it two thumbs ups, and then I'll move on because it's not my place. 28 years later, we talked in depth about Danny Boyle our last episode. I love him
Mhm.
so much. Um, my one statement will be the iPhone rig that they built for the arrow shots. Inject that in my fucking veins. Okay, cool, thank you. Number
Agreed.
two, I have one you mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
It is Sentimental Value by
Fuck yeah.
Joaquin Trier. I watched this one twice, both times. Just a very emotionally resonant film. I think this movie, what people are saying, where it kind of feels like IKEA furniture, I can very much understand and kind of see where
Yeah.
that's coming from. But it's like IKEA furniture that you sit in the liminal back rooms. Like you know it's kind of
Ooh.
not good and not okay, and even though it's familiar, it very much feels upsetting.
Mhm.
And that is how this movie feels. Kind of what you were talking about earlier in terms of how we invoke, or rather, what's the word? Inject
Mhm.
our struggles, our tribulations, our hurts into our work, specifically our art.
Mhm.
But I love how this movie just shows such a great lineage of just internal depression and how we can link as people, but rather
Yeah.
also family members, just by something unspoken or unsaid or even unacknowledged. There's
Mhm.
such an understanding of subtext here, of characters, of relationships, of just so much nuance in performances. There's never a big moment in this movie, and that's why I appreciate it so much. It's so much confidence in directing and writing.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite screenplay of the year is fucking phenomenal. I love the fact that he was a professional skateboarder, which I've just recently learned. I think it's so fucking cool.
Mhm.
As someone who enjoyed and thinks it's great, The Worst Person in the World, I'm very grateful to say that like this was the movie that gets me excited to see what he has coming next, and
I
I'm
could agree.
excited to check out his other works from the past. But yeah, no, this movie is exceptional. I hope this entire cast gets accolades.
Mhm.
Um, I won't say too much, but Stellan Skarsgård, you are my baby boy, and if you won, I would not upset me in the slightest.
He's not going to though.
I think he will.
Okay.
My
All
bet
right.
is he will win at the
All right.
Oscars.
All right.
But the two supporting actresses, Elle Fanning and then like you kind of said earlier, I can't really pronounce her name, but
Mhm.
Inga.
Mhm.
Thank you so much for being in this film, and thank you for giving such nuanced but just complex performances. Elle Fanning is doing terrific work here. I think she kind of doesn't get as much acknowledged because she's the most Americanized actor in the film, and by proxy, I think that kind of makes people downplay her ability.
Mhm.
But she is so good, and she's doing so many different things, and she has this such. I will say, like the young or the older sister, no, the younger sister
Yeah.
actress, and
Yeah.
Inga, is very much the heart of the film. But I do think Elle Fanning is the viewer's way into this family, but not in a way where she feels empty as a character, but rather like also with such a defined and specific purpose.
Sure.
Yeah, and then Renate Reinsve,
Yeah.
you and Josh O'Connor hit me up. I'm being so serious. You're 10 years my senior, probably more, but
Mm.
and then one last thing I will say before I let you go on is
Mhm.
this movie inspired me to learn Norwegian on Duolingo, and I'm not even joking. I'm like 84 days in, and
Can
so
you give me
thank
a
you.
sentence in Norwegian?
Um,
Yeah, you can't bring that to
wait,
this.
wait.
Okay.
For du Bronnen? Yeah. Where's your brother?
School.
Yeah, that's actually that is true. But yeah, terrific fucking movie. I love Sentimental Value, and I'm very interested to see how this will age. real quick tangent, like super quick tangent.
You're fine.
Criterion cover
Oh
fucking
my.
blows. I don't give a fuck that it's like a prolific artist who's refined and gets acknowledged for his
Yeah.
past works. Terrible cover.
Hmm.
I understand that why people think it fits the movie. It doesn't,
Shut the fuck up.
and you're fucking stupid.
I agree.
Change the cover, please. I want to support you, Criterion. I want to buy it because I want to watch this movie on repeat. But that cover is so abysmal.
I'll draw you a cover. Don't worry.
Thanks, appreciate
I
it.
got you. No, of
Um,
course.
but yeah, thanks everyone who was a part of making the film. One of the best endings of the year.
Fuck yeah. Great, great, great roster. So at my number four, it was already stated, a movie that I have no issue loving as much as I do, despite the criticisms, despite what is being leveled its way. A movie the differential between like critics and pundits and then like the common folk, I guess, but then also like the common folk really hating it. I really sunk my teeth so deep and was vexed so hard by what Guillermo del Toro's take was for a much more Catholic angle of parent to child, the sins of the parent being put onto the child. It's a movie that to me was so perfect in its core thesis of what Frankenstein's creation or the creation that is Victor and onto what I think is the best performance of the year, and I think I'm gonna have to really ride on that because I try to second guess it, I try to doubt it, but it is truly Jacob Elordi has transformed himself in a way that like I think artists only wish they could do, and this man is just so brilliant in the shit that he does in ways that like it makes me sad too because it's like, oh, he's tall, he's got a big dick, like yeah, he's awesome in Saltburn. No,
He's
like
got a big dick.
he's fucking fine. Um, but like then it comes out like in Priscilla, like it's so interesting how it weaponizes his people either embellish it or weaponize his physical features that wind up making me reduced to a baby. Um, there is a midpoint shift in the narrative of the movie that quite literally we almost like grabbed each other's like shins and started eating them for nutrients and like
Yeah.
taking the adrenochrome out of babies. Like,
Real quick, we also saw this movie on film at a
oh yeah.
theater. Fuck yeah. Netflix didn't give it a proper theatrical release. Broke my heart because it should be
Mhm.
watched in a theater. We were lucky enough to catch it on film. It looked
Mhm.
fucking phenomenal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
and I think funny enough, you bring up that. I'm very curious to see what the extended cut of the movie is going to be. Oh, you don't know that?
oh no shit.
Yeah, even though I post on Instagram and that's the one you have, and like you'll like my shit when it's like thirst traps of like it's Ryan Reynolds as Turbo the Snail.
Ah,
But yeah, no, it is confirmed. It is going. They announced and it left like social media in an uproar because it was that and K-pop Demon Hunters coming to the Criterion Collection, and I'm like, I think that's gangster if that's because it's like they're not making money. They're not making money. That's going to supply them for the next 10 years. The K-pop Demon Hunter Criterion revenue is going to keep them in business to where then they can do like freaking Crank and like the worst movies ever on Criterion.
oh, mommy.
But yeah, Guillermo del Toro, I don't know how substantial like this is going to be, but he was like, "There's an hour of the movie that I want to show." I'm like,
And then he belly laughed, and then he belly laughed.
yeah, and I adore this movie, and I understand the complaints that unfortunately like there is bits that are a bit underutilized, i.e. Mia Goth's character, but for me, I think the core of the film is about a father and son and the creation that he makes and what he's not willing to go to in order to become the person that he should for his kid. And it's just brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Number three?
Dude, stop.
No.
Stop.
You know,
Please actually stop. If you say what I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Please don't say it.
you are, and you have no right to. You have no right to.
Please.
You,
No.
it's not my fault you chose the boring path. It's not my fault you chose the normie ass path here. Walk a mile in my shoes, Buster. And number three, Wake Up Dead Man.
Oh, what?
Your hands are shaking even
Oh,
more.
oh, wait, I'm so.
Shut up, bitch. Shut up, bitch. Just let me talk. Let me talk. Let me talk. You go into sabbatical. You be quiet. You hush up now, child. It is crazy that I'm putting two Netflix movies this high, but it's even more insane that these filmmakers were allowed to do what they did. And we got to see Knives Out together at your crib, and that scene, oh, he's convulsing right now. I found her. She's below the floorboards.
Your baby's gonna burn in hell.
I want my meat raw.
Mommy's
No,
with the maggots now.
we just referenced an Evil Dead movie, Legion, and The Conjuring. Will never change. Yeah, Wake Up Dead Man. Look, I talked about it with The Kingdom of Tea and Strangers. A movie such as what Ryan Johnson crafts as a professed, raised Christian, now deconstructed into atheism. This movie isn't about being pro faith, but being gleaning on something to believe in. And I guess not faith in the ordained religious sort of way, but when you are able to have a community that has their water tampered by manipulation and the thoughts of taking your faith and trying to monetize it. And many things that I have experienced in my life and seeing the way that a lot of these churches build themselves as for God, when in reality it is to serve their own best interests. And having being in a household where my parents are diving deeper and deeper into conservatism and the very right leaning way of faith, as I am coming far more into my own that is starkly different from that. I think like last year, if you had asked me if we did a video and I don't know, a movie about faith had come up, I would probably speak on it in behalf of a much more nihilistic stance. But now I feel at least comfortable living knowing that because I don't believe in the a traditional senses of a God, I'm not going to be damned into an eternity of hell. And what Ryan Johnson does in this movie, what he does with lighting and how that influences belief and trust and faith and how that has this own spiritual undercurrent, but it's also like inserted in a way that is natural to the way that light works day to day, and I've never seen it done before. It looks unbelievable. He loves shooting on digital, and he makes it look like it is shot on the crunchiest film. Josh O'Connor is a treasure that is the gift that will forever keep on giving. I mean, there is several scenes in that movie that I could reference as the best of the year, and most definitely the movie stops at a certain point.
Wait, we next.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry guys.
Yeah.
Little big old pregnant pause there. I apologize. I was getting a little ahead of myself, a little hasty. Um and I and what's funny too is I actually will admit something that I probably shouldn't. I think it is the movie that has the most issues in my top 10. And what in terms of I don't disagree with you. I think the core idea of making the group be a family in Knives Out immediately makes any screen time they don't get be dissolved the moment they're on screen and for the amount that they are or aren't given. There is roles in this that are existing to fulfill archetypes or to be the butt of jokes, and I get it. It doesn't always work. There's performances like Mila Kunis, even like Jeremy Renner to an extent that just aren't there to the level. But again, in the way that like Janelle Monáe was for Glass Onion and Ana de Armas was for Knives Out, Josh O'Connor is even more so a mainstay in this movie. And I get it if it doesn't work for you because that is the core of the movie. But the way that he bounces off of Benoit Blanc in this is fucking unbelievable. Exceptional stuff.
Big hands. He has like huge knuckles.
He does. What is
Yeah.
it? Not arms here, but arms open.
Oh.
So good, so good. And then at my number two,
Please don't say some bullshit right now.
it's 28 years later. Um, all roads lead to Rome, Buster. All roads lead to Rome. We're gonna get really into the thick of it in a few minutes. Because I'm like Conclave, where it's like the one person that votes for like Father Paddington, when in reality everyone's like Father Conservatism. Sorry. Yeah, we will talk. I actually think this is going to be a very funny statement for me to make because as I'm recording this, you have no idea what I'm about to reference. But in the episode we're releasing after the one we just did, which is episode 2. The third episode we talk all about Danny Boyle, and 2025 was the year for Boyle, and I got boils all over my body, and I ain't letting them pop. I'm letting them stay. It's a filmmaker that is always at the end of the day looking at what he can do creatively and narratively, whether it be literally a film about a boy seeing saints and angels, drug addicts either at the thick of it or trying to recover, zombie apocalypse, a son that's dying. All of these movies, whether through its script and its narrative or its filmic language, makes me want to create in a way that filmmakers I don't think ever will get close to. And he's done it more than 5 times. And I've had the gift of getting to share so many Danny Boyle with you, Tyson. And I mean, this movie was the big reason why I got to do that. A film that the trailers promoted a film that was only a third, and then there is 2/3 left. A movie about what life is like when you shelter yourself, growing into your own. The dichotomy of a mother and a father. The power of choosing your own path and what is truly decayed in a broken, zombified world, and it is shot like I am dying, like I am literally overdosing. And I think it's crazy too because in so many regards, people would say this is his craziest looking movie, and I wouldn't even disagree. Well, I guess I would disagree because we got to see God incarnate in 35 millimeter in like a sound deprivation tank, which you guys already know by now. But go check out that episode; it's a great episode. But um, it's between Jacob Elordi and like Jodie Comer. Like truthfully, I was like he gives the best performance of the year, but like, and I say that because it's such a cheat when I say that Jodie Comer gave my favorite performance of the year because I've had a mother who had the cirrhosis of the liver, who through her alcoholism would have moments where she wouldn't even know who I was, and seeing a boy have to be put into a situation akin to that of Weapons. And the kid who played Alfie Williams, who plays Spike, is just so wonderful in this film, and it becomes such a meditation on knowing that death and grief is so necessary to the process of growing and becoming who you are. Young Fathers gave easily my favorite score of the year. Like I have listened to that on a continual basis. It's fucked. It's so fucked. Yeah, I'm gonna be really really sad if like 2 years from now we'll look back on this episode sad because we will never get part three. Part Bone Temple flopped so hard and it breaks my like tiny little heart so much. If we don't, I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do. But for now, I just have this and I'm able to relish in that. So, what is your number one, big fella?
I'm glad that you're going last because I think I know what your number one is. But if your number one isn't that, and it's a different one, I actually this will be our last episode. I'm telling you right now. Like I'm gonna tell you right now this is our last episode.
Sure.
Which I have faith in you. I have
You will
so
you
much
will
faith.
you will tell me no matter what I say what the alternative of what you think it would.
100%.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
All right, all right.
My number one of the year of 2025, and one that is kind of a boring one because I think yours will be at least fun no matter what you choose.
As you kill me.
It is One Battle After Another, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. I cannot deny the power that this movie has in so many different facets. To kind of elaborate on my obsession with this film, I saw it 4 times in a 70 millimeter IMAX, which very grateful for, locationally where we are to make that even happenstance in the first place.
Hmm.
But every time I was just locked the fuck in, and there's so many pros and flowers I can throw this movie. I think it is so intelligent to the point where we've cycled back to thinking the movie isn't intelligent any longer and thinking that it's doing gross caricatures and doesn't know what it's saying with its politics, which I 100% support those who have those ideas. But for me, this movie is so ahead of their curve when it comes to speaking upon how the future generation is going to lead rebellion, how it's going to lead change,
Hmm.
how it's going to lead to a greater future, and how it's based upon the future generation to make that happen, and that the older generation can't do anything to save that. I think it's such a poignant message to portray as a father who PTA is. This is his most father-oriented film, and rightfully so. I can't speak upon the the identity that he has as a father to mixed race children, specifically like biracial, I think half white, half black children. But I will say the way that Leonardo DiCaprio's character is portrayed in this film as a white man of a biracial child and
Hmm.
the struggles and tribulations that he has understanding her but also supporting her as a father is so heartbreaking. I won't go too much into scenes because that is, for a future date, but countless scenes in this movie that have stuck in my mind since day one. And they have not left my subconscious. PTA is one of my favorite directors. I think I've mentioned that in the past in one of the other episodes, but this is no exception. Funny enough, actually, for this being my number one, this might be not even in my top two PTA.
That's so crazy.
Um, and what I will say, which is kind of a bit like highbrow, high collar of me, is that I don't have any tens this year. Nothing thus far has been a 10 for me, and that includes one battle after another. And I don't think it'll ever reach that level,
Hmm.
just in the sense of there has to be a certain personal thing that I feel with the movie that like I'm like this is a 10, yes. And I don't know if I've felt that with one battle after another, but every time I'm laughing out loud, I'm getting teary eyed. I'm just engrossed in it. It's beautiful to look at in every sense of the word.
Hmm.
The Johnny Greenwood score, despite his politics and his conniving cowardness, is so sprawling and creative. And the fact that I learned that John Bryan was attached to creating it is also just as exciting because I love John Bryan.
Hmm.
Um, the performances in this film, what can I say about them that hasn't already been said? Tiana Taylor is tasked with playing such a complex character, and I think there's a lot of people that hate that character and hate what she is in the movie. But I think Tiana Taylor is so good at portraying the empathetic and human side to it that there was never hate that I had for that character. It was always just pure, just trying to understand.
Fuck yeah.
And that's no exception for majority of the cast, besides Sergeant Lockjaw, portrayed by Sean Penn, which that is my performance of the year. Not even up for debate. I think he is absolutely exceptional.
Hmm.
Despite his questionable politics and despite kind of who he is in the industry, he is so funny, so physically driven,
Hmm.
so like thought out, but also just perfectly memorable and iconic.
Agreed.
Sean Penn, we have a internal debate going on, and I think that by this point of people listening, the Oscars will have at least be on the come up, so we
Hmm.
won't be able to kind of cover the Oscars on its own, which is fine.
Yeah.
But we have a debate for supporting actor where I think that Sean Penn is the best performance of the year, but I think Stellan Skarsgård will win, and you think that Jacob Elordi is the best supporting performance of the year,
Yes.
but you believe that Stellan Skarsgård will win. Truthfully, or sorry, no, my mistake. You think that Sean Penn will win.
Hmm.
Um, we've deliberated. We'll very much see at this point and kind of what we know about what the Academy is leaning towards. It's very much in the air still, which is kind of fun for us.
Agreed.
But that being said, Sean Penn is my number one of the year.
Fuck yeah.
Leo is doing such great work in terms of just a very not typical Leo character,
Hmm.
but adds so much empathy and love and humor, but also just a level of disgust for him.
Yeah.
Um, just so many funny moments, and even beyond the A-list actors, or rather the named actors, like the supporting, like the real supporting cast. My go the guy, the military sergeant who's like doing the interviewing and the
Yeah.
questioning, the interrogating rather.
Uh-huh.
That's my guy.
He is.
I
Yeah.
think about that guy every single day. I'm not even joking.
He's got jokes.
He's, thank you, thank you. Fuck yeah. Um, but yeah, I feel like I can talk about this movie forever, and I don't want to bore
No.
because I
No.
think
No. Yeah. You're good.
in the sense where everyone is giving its accolades. It's revered on a wide level. It made a lot of money, which I'm
Hmm.
grateful to hear, and I think it'll definitely be the one that has staying power. Maybe a little less than Sinners, depending on where the industry goes.
Mm.
However, I do
Mm.
think that is an extremely powerful movie. Um, but yeah, I love it to death, and I am excited to talk about it, at least a specific scene from it,
Hmm.
a bit more in the future without saying too much. But
Yeah.
yeah, an exceptional film that deserves all the flowers it gets. I think PTA is such a talented filmmaker, and I am so excited that he's relatively young for a director, and we get so many more films from out of him.
Hmm.
And yeah, I mean, a lot of uhs, a lot of stammering, but what can I say? This movie is brilliant, and
It's all emotion, man.
it's all emotion. I saw it 4 times. What can I say? I hope everyone at this point has seen the film. If you have
Hmm.
not, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's going to be re-releasing in theaters soon. If you're able to catch it in a theatrical setting,
Fuck yeah.
I wish that it'll come to IMAX for all of you who did not see it, because the movie in IMAX is essential, if you will.
Hmm.
Love it to death. My number one of 2025, one battle after another.
Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Um, yeah. It's interesting because I'm like, what's going on in your head? But, um, what a year. What a year.
What a year.
I'm very appreciative, I think, at the end of the day for like what these things have helped me, and taught me. But I can't kid myself here. It's castration movie.
Okay, pause.
Uh-huh, yeah. What talk to me about what you
I'm
thought.
grateful it's castration movie, actually. I wasn't tweaking because it's castration movie.
Oh, what were you tweaking?
I was waiting for you to say Eddington.
No, no,
And
Eddie.
you can't say no like that, because that was your number one of the year at one point. When
Yeah,
you
but
were saying that
that
was
was
the
like April though.
sure, but then every time we brought up in subsequent conversation, it had never really moved out of the fluctuation of one of your
No,
favorites.
yeah,
You came out saying that was your favorite Ari Aster. You came out saying
stand
that
by that.
whatever,
Uh-huh,
but you weren't saying it, and it wasn't even your top 25, and I was like getting upset
uh-huh.
because it was getting higher and
No,
higher. And
no,
then when I made a reference to basically, okay,
no, because I thought because you had asked me. So I guess like for any of you that are, I don't know why you would know, but I watched. I guess to like brief overview because I think the context of how this movie is being packaged matters. This is sort of a submersion into the trans experience via different chapters and perspectives of people either in the trans community or directly affecting them, created by this filmmaker. Her name is Louise Weird. It's by their own statements this intended 12 to 15 hour multi film experience that unfortunately is being, not unfortunately, but I guess is being packaged in different increments. And right now there is part 1, the called Traps, and I want to make sure that I get part 2 correct. And part 1 is 4.5 hours long, and part 2, which is the best of both worlds, that's what it's called, is 5 hours long. um and I watched both of them within the last 72 hours. And frankly, it doesn't feel right for me to include this because um like it's really difficult for me to piece together this movie because there's two different parts obviously, but there's three chapters that are being told. The second movie is an entire one chapter. Both of the films have intermissions. And the first part or the first chapter of this movie involves like this sort of like incel esque type as you watch him basically implode a relationship he has and every sort of dynamic around him because of his inability to actually grow. And it basically then leads to him being like a basement dweller, 4chan a user who is this huge bigot and transphobe. And the second chapter is the basic like day to day of a sex worker named Traps and their best friend named Adeline, who's a musician. As Adeline is kind of at this mental impasse because their partner is getting top surgery and they're going through their own thing because they don't think they're going to be able to float the rent because of their partner being out for surgery and the mental strain that it takes. And this sex worker, they are going through it because they're realizing that by being on estrogen for the first time in their life, they're wanting to maybe entertain the concept of having a child. And they get the fertility test back and it comes back negative. And there's these deeply melancholic parts to this movie and the undercurrent of like transness. And obviously like I don't want to make this a thing about me and I want us to focus more on the art, but like there's many films where like the trans experience is oftentimes by trans artists like celebrated as it should be because so much of them are being used as like demonized weapons for the sake of trying to push agendas that are not made by voices who have any right to comment on the matter. But it wasn't until part two that I watched in its entirety that it like almost like made me sick. Because it plays on the idea, and I'm not going to give away anything in that movie. But it's basically a 5 hour descent into what the communities that say that they are willing to help you will go to benefit themselves at your own expense. And when people question their own gender, I mean, like, as I've kind of alluded to already, I don't understand how anyone who thinks that transness is a joke or a lie would, the people who say that they are, would rather live the life that they live like that as opposed to a more quote unquote simple life, because no one would ever want to. And I mean, this is a world that is so unbelievably punishing. And for 5 hours, you watch what happens when people try to talk you off a ledge that you want to be on, or try to convince you that you are someone that you once were that you hated. Um, and of course, like, it is shot on a digital landscape that is something that I am heavily inspired by. And I think like people are quick to complain about the runtime, and obviously like it is easily the longest film I've ever seen. But so many of these moments of people just communicating, and it is very intentional with how vulnerable it gets. I mean, the director Luis plays Traps, who is a sex worker that does have full frontal penetration, and to my knowledge it is all real, and it is that level of authenticity. And nearly everyone in the film is a part of the trans community and is queer, and like it is just this unbelievable feat in filmmaking that I am so unsure to say that like I needed, because like in many ways it ends in a fashion that feels like you are choosing to be the maladapted form of what society wants you to be. And it's this deeply upsetting movie, but one that like there are going to be moments in that film that are going to be forever etched into my brain. And it's just a film that like, although on a maternal motherly level of how my mom influenced me in my upbringing or my faith, the moment I finished this movie I knew that like I don't think there will ever be a thing like it. And if there is, then it wouldn't be this, because it's hitting me in the part of my life that I don't know. I don't know what the other side is going to be, what that alternative is going to look like. And it's the scariest shit ever. Like I wish I could go back and not have to be this version that looks and feels wrong and lives the phantom version that I don't want to be, but I am. I've taken the pill, and I am not. I can't look back, figuratively and hopefully one day literally. But yeah, just an unbelievable film. And like there is just scenes that should not work to the degree that they do. And obviously you can complain about like the ways that this movie is breaking itself, and there are scenes where actors who have never acted are looking in the camera, or you can tell that after the 25th minute of a one take, these actors no longer can give it their all. But it's the fact that like everything feels being pushed because they have no money. And I think like something that isn't really talked about nearly enough in trans media is the isolation that happens because no one is there to support you other than the trans community themselves. And through the experiences I've had communicating with other trans folk, like so many of them don't have homes or a roof to be under. And I think the way that this movie is assembled with next to no money, and the way that it tells a story that is so larger than life but speaks to me in a way that like I yeah, I just it's intense. And like I'm trying to play this role right now of like how much do I reveal? So I won't try to get so heavy into this that like I don't see a light at the end of it. But yeah, it's just an unbelievable film. And I'll never forget this. It's like I would feel so wrong not including it. It's the craziest shit that I think I've ever seen in my life. Like just like in part two, Ivy Walk is in the fucking movie.
Awesome.
And like for me to say like they are actually incredible in the movie is like kind of the craziest shit I could ever muster.
Awesome.
Um, and the person that plays, and it's like it's nuts. And all these people like they have credits that are only just this. Alexandra Walton, who is in The Best of Both Worlds. I've been kind of fooling you. That is the performance of the year for me. But it's
Really?
like I can't say like, oh wait, and then you're like, wait, you've already gone through the gamut. Who could it be? And then I'm like, actually, it's Pedro Pascal in the fireworks scene of Eddington. Um, it's I guess the way that Luis frames it is like this second part is a horror movie, and what I think is fascinating is if you look up the trailer for part two, it is a trailer to a different movie that doesn't exist. And I guess that is the part that has yet to be released of this final chapter. But they were like, I need to make this, I need to do this, and they literally dedicate an entire hour longer than they do for chapter one, and it's all taken place in 24 hours, and it just follows this person as they lose themselves, but like the communities that they find themselves in, whether at a party in New York or in the subway or in the basement of a commune of other trans folk that are trying to heal them. It is like the craziest shit I've ever seen. And I left. Funny enough, like I finished it like 5 hours before I came here, and I was like, I might not even talk about this movie at all. And maybe it's because I haven't really eaten. I've just had like chai and Ferrero Rochers today. But like getting here, I was like, I don't know if I can do this. It's yeah, it's good lord, this is 2 hours. Maybe one day. It also feels wrong for me to talk about this without me having actually taken an assertive moment or movement in my life yet. I know I've done it like on a mental level, but like I don't know. This movie just makes you look at like transitioning and seeing the struggle that they go through, and in many ways, the concept of detransitioning is like, why did I do it in the first place? And so it scares the shit out of me. So I think like the longer I talk about it, the more scared I'll be. But I guess in many ways it did its job. It's definitely not trying to peddle not transitioning, but also it's showing that everybody is human and people have bad experiences, and that influences the way that they want to mold other people around them. It's genuinely like one of the greatest things I've ever seen. But yeah, so that's my number one. It is a fucking juggernaut of an experience that I wouldn't wish on anyone, but I would recommend this to literally everybody. It's insane, and it's weird because then I'm like, do you watch this? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Tyson. And obviously like I want to share my life and everything, but it's like at what point in hour four, as the fourth person is getting rammed after snorting ketamine while they play nothing but like the hardest metal ever, like do you tap out? But nothing like it has ever existed, and I don't think it ever will, because it is all in synchronicity to tell something that has fucked me up, and I can't even like I haven't even fully slept on it, so it's like I just know where it stands, and I don't think that's gonna change. But yeah, that's my number one.
I'm so confused.
Uh-huh.
That was Eddington?
Yeah. Come on
Okay.
now. Come on
Ari
now.
Aster with his trans story. Fuck
Yeah, you
yes.
chose to see what you wanted to see with that movie. I
Mm.
was reading a whole different thing.
Well, nonetheless, I will check out Castration movie just because it feels wrong to not watch your number one of the year. That'd be kind of
Sacrilegious.
sacrilegious. Thank
Mm.
you. But yeah, then before we wrap this up, tell me uh, your worst movie of the year, your least
It's
favorite.
art. It's art. We're communal. You're asking it because we're sharing in this, but you're asking it because the experience to get to there was something that I know you'll revel in. Funny enough, you foretold my worst movie of the year. I foretold your best movie of the year. Does that make any sense? I'll elaborate. My least favorite movie of the year is Warfare.
Oh, fire.
It's horrendous. It's a movie that again, my second favorite film of the year is written by the man who is involved in this, but it's like, it is the bane. It is the existence of honestly what the framework of the industry is looking like now, with the acquisition, the bid, and everything that's gone through of like, you're having the worst people now in a position where they can absolve horrible artists doing things, and this feels like a Turning Point USA core movie.
Yeah, fuck Warfare.
Yeah.
Worst of the year for sure.
Hmm.
Unless we count him, then
I haven't seen it.
you didn't see him. I truth like honest to God, I hope that Jordan Peele never makes anything ever again.
I agree. I
By
agree.
proxy of producing whatever he produced, I think he should actually like. I don't care how good you are as a good director or writer. You
Hmm.
produced him. You should not be allowed to create anything ever
And
again.
he dropped the ball with picking up weapons.
Bum.
True.
But yeah, I think for the most part, pretty pretty consistent with who we are
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, your no, never mind.
Yep,
No,
yep,
no.
yeah. Watch your words.
Yeah.
I will say I am Steve Lockjaw.
Oh, am I DiCaprio in the store?
No, your castration movie as a whole.
Well, you can't. I actually don't know how you'll actually ever watch that. You'll say like, "Fuck those ads," but like it's you like speaking in like Dune speak.
Because the ads are the movie. Fuck.
But thank you, friends. 2 hours, Jesus Christ! But I would not change a single minute of it. And funny enough, we're not done with the year yet.
Nope.
For our next episode, the one that I'm actually most excited about because I knew so many of what your choices were going to be, we're going to talk about our favorite scenes from last year. We have so many, and it gives an opportunity to like bring up even movies we didn't like because I can think of even a couple scenes off of movies I didn't like.
Like Eddington.
You don't even not like Eddington, dude. You just go on this thing because I love Eddington, but we're gonna have a ball, my friends. Thank you so, so very much. Again, please, this is a community. This isn't just a one-way street here. Comment below anything, any thoughts if you made it. If you made it this far,
Convince me to watch castration movie.
yes,
If
yes,
you've seen it, or if you even if you haven't seen it,
yeah.
throw things my way that's gonna make me want to watch this 10-hour behemoth.
If you're a true, true fan of the Beneflicks pod, comment below. You don't even have to have seen the movie. Do it for the dolls, chat. It's just do it for me. Do it for Tyson. When we return on the next podcast, you're gonna have like a deep Russian accent because it's gonna alter you.
Okay.
So anyway, friends, we have spent so much of your time. If you got this far, thank you so much. We wouldn't be here without you.
Very much so.
I love you guys so much.
Love you. Socials. I'm on Letterbox.
Hmm.
T raced in the description.
Yeah, all in the description. Don't forget to comment. Email us in at beneflixpod@gmail.com. I love you guys. Have a great one.
Night.